What if I told you that the salary you hear about CEOs is not their real income? Yes, the millions you see in headlines are often just a small part of their total wealth. Some CEOs earn more in one day than most people earn in months, but the interesting thing is that their biggest money does not come from salary at all. It comes from something most people do not fully understand. Today, we are going to uncover how CEOs actually build their wealth, where their real money comes from, and why it often feels hidden even though it is not secret. So make sure you stick till the end, because once you understand this, you will never look at CEO salaries the same way again. The truth about CEO salaries. When people think about CEOs, the first thing that comes to mind is their salary. News reports often show very large numbers, especially for companies like Apple or Amazon. These numbers can make it seem like CEOs earn all their money from salary, but that is not true in most cases. In reality, the base salary of a CEO is often only a small part of their total earnings. Sometimes, it is even lower than what people expect. The reason it still feels huge is because the real money comes from other forms of compensation that are not always clearly understood. Stock-based compensation, where the real wealth begins. The real source of CEO wealth usually starts with stock-based compensation. Instead of giving all the money in cash, companies give CEOs shares or stock options, which means they own a part of the company itself. For example, Tim Cook receives a large portion of his compensation in the form of company stock. This means his wealth increases when the company performs well and the stock price rises. This system is designed to connect the CEO's success directly with the company's success. It encourages them to focus on long-term growth instead of short-term gains. Bonuses and performance-based rewards. Along with stock, CEOs also receive bonuses based on their performance. These bonuses are not random. They are tied to specific goals like increasing profits, growing revenue, or improving company value. When a CEO meets these goals, they can receive large bonuses, sometimes worth millions. However, these bonuses are not guaranteed. If performance targets are not met, the bonus may be reduced or not given at all. This system creates pressure on CEOs to perform well, but it also shows that their income is linked to results, not just position. Even with these bonuses, the biggest part of their wealth still comes from long-term value, which makes the structure of their income more complex than it appears. Long-term incentives, building wealth over time. One of the most important parts of CEO compensation is long-term incentives. These are rewards that are given over several years instead of instantly. For example, a CEO might receive stock that they cannot sell for 3 to 5 years. This ensures they stay committed to the company and focus on its long-term success. This approach changes the way wealth is built. Instead of earning quick money, CEOs are building value slowly over time. Their financial success depends on how well the company performs in the future. Because of this delayed structure, much of their wealth is not immediately visible, which adds to the idea that it is hidden. Ownership and equity, thinking like an owner. Some CEOs, especially founders, own large parts of their companies. This ownership is often the biggest source of their wealth. A well-known example is Jeff Bezos, whose wealth mainly comes from his shares in Amazon rather than his salary. Even if his yearly salary is small, the value of his ownership makes him extremely wealthy. This shows an important difference between income and wealth. Income is what you earn regularly, but wealth is what you own. CEOs often focus on building ownership rather than increasing salary, which allows their wealth to grow much larger over time. Investments beyond their company. CEO wealth does not stay limited to one company. Many CEOs invest in other businesses, real estate, and financial markets. These investments can grow independently and add to their total wealth. Over time, these different sources of income create a strong financial network. However, these investments are not always fully visible to the public. While some information is available, the complete picture is often spread across many areas. This is another reason why CEO wealth feels hidden. It is not stored in one place, but divided into multiple growing assets. Executive perks and benefits. Apart from money and investments, CEOs also receive certain benefits that add value to their lifestyle. These may include private travel, security services, and other company-supported expenses. For example, companies like Meta provide security services to top executives due to safety concerns. These benefits are not direct income, but they reduce personal expenses and increase overall financial comfort. While they are usually disclosed in official reports, they are not often discussed in detail by the public. The difference between income and wealth. One major reason people misunderstand CEO earnings is the difference between income and wealth. Income is the money earned in a year, while wealth is the total value of assets owned over time. Most people focus only on income, but CEOs focus on building wealth. This difference creates confusion. When people hear about a CEO's salary, they assume that is everything, but in reality, it is only a small part of the full picture. Understanding this difference helps explain why CEO wealth seems much larger than what is publicly reported as income. Why companies use this system? Companies design CEO compensation in this way for a reason. They want CEOs to act like owners rather than employees. By giving stock and long-term rewards, companies ensure that CEOs care about growth, stability, and future success. This system aligns the CEO's interests with the company's performance. While this approach can lead to very high levels of wealth, it is meant to encourage better decision-making and long-term thinking. So now you know the real truth behind CEO wealth. It is not just about big salaries. It is about ownership, long-term thinking, and smart financial systems that build value over time. The next time you hear about a CEO earning millions, remember that this is only one part of the story. The real wealth is often growing quietly in the background. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with others. Comment below and tell me what surprised you the most. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.